Hi folks, so we're back. Gonna continue reading chapter 33. We're at part 3 of chapter 33. 1 second folks, just give me a second. So we're back. Alright, so we had stopped last time we're reading we stopped at Miss Rose began to speak. Alright, so let's continue. Mr. Haynes, she said, I know you wouldn't laugh at me, but plenty people going to laugh at me. They're going to have a lot to say, but I can't think of them. 18 years we have been together, Mr. Haynes, he and me, and 18 years isn't 18 days. He do me enough. Only I know how much he do me, but I leave God to punish him for that. We hope to be forgiven, so we must forgive. She sat unmoving, her eyes fixed vacantly on a patch of shadow at the foot of Haynes' chair. Now and then she would raise her eyes to his, but seemed too tired to keep them there for long. But she spoke on and on and on, with few pauses. Haynes did not interrupt, nor did Miss Atwell, who maintained her upright position, her eyes fixed on Mrs. Rose's face, only glancing at Haynes occasionally to see the effect of any observation, which was more than usually astonishing. But Haynes had little time for her. He sat watching and listening to the weary woman who was trying to make them see the reasons which had led to her decision. Perhaps she was explaining them to herself as well. Mr. Haynes, he and me build the house. We sweat, we strain to build it, and while it's standing there, I can't see him want a shelter. And later, Mr. Haynes, you remember the man and how he used to be here? Where he is in the hospital now is like a pauper. He's like a pauper. In the blue nightgown the paupers wear. I ain't see him, but I know. With all sorts of people round him. I can't leave him there, Mr. Haynes. Not while these walls standing. The lamp, which was burning lower and lower, gave a sudden flicker and went out. She started up, her hands crossed on her heart. Oh God, oh God. I hope nothing happened to him. No, no, Alice, said Miss Atwell, jumping up and holding Mrs. Rose by the arm. The lamp has no pitch. The lamp has no pitch oil. It was going down all the time. You don't think. No. Look at it. It's dry. You forgot to put oil in it tonight. So Mrs. Rose thinking because the lamp out, she's thinking that Ben has died. But she doesn't know. We'll have to find out that later on. We soon find out, folks. I went out to the store to get some, but that dry too. Calm yourself, darling. Nothing going to happen to him. My father lied down on his bed for 3 years and 9 months before anything happened to him. She doing the best thing. Eh, Mr. Haynes? If the two of them build the house, and for she to be here and know he's suffering there, it must ring her. Mrs. Rose sat down again. Ah, Miss Atwell, you understand. Mr. Haynes, in the night I can't sleep. Every time I doze off, I see the man lying on the bed in torment, stretching out his arms to me and calling for help. He said, Alice, 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 don't leave me to perish. Come to my rescue. Come to my assistance. Mr. Haynes, when he called, I must reply. Haynes had no answer to give, nor did she seem to want any. In the darkness he could hardly see her face, could only hear with the distinctness which darkness gives the tones which darkness gives, the tones of her voice charged with fatigue and with settled determination. God put this fiery love in my heart for Mr. Haynes. I tried to root it out, but it wouldn't come out. God planted it there for his own purpose, his own wise purpose. I'm going to show Mr. Ben that though he pressed me down to the ground, I am the one who will lift him up from it. Another long silence. But, Mr. Haynes, you're not saying anything. You don't think what I'm doing is right? Haynes pushed away from the vision of the worry and expense of the overburdened Mrs. Rose attending to the stricken Ben and said wholeheartedly, "You are doing the best thing possible, Mrs. Rose. Don't you think so, Miss Atwell?" "God is love," said Miss Atwell. We'll go for him in the morning." 11 o'clock struck. Haynes rose to leave, and they came to the door with him. He stood on the last step, the two women on the threshold above. "Well then, until tomorrow morning," he said. "Until tomorrow," said Mrs. Rose brightly. She was glad that those who lived at number 2 had sided with her so heartily. "Ah, Mr. Haynes," she continued, "if only Phyllis was here now. I miss her before, but is now I'm going to miss her." Haynes was going, but he stopped. "Mrs. Rose," he said, "I hope you wouldn't mind my asking something." He saw an opportunity to solve one of the few events in number 2, which he and Maisie had often discussed, without being able to come to any sort of conclusion. "No, Mr. Haynes, what is it?" But she sounded apprehensive. "It's not about Maisie. I don't wish to talk about Maisie anymore. It's about Phyllis. Why was it that she had to leave here? I have always thought that there was something strange about it. I never cared to inquire, but hearing you say that you need Phyllis, I thought I would ask." "We have no secrets from you, Mr. Haynes," she replied, but she hesitated. Yes, folks, so I'm going to leave it there today. When we come back, it will be the last of the book. When we come back, we'll be finished. So we have like 2 pages left and it will be the last. So I'm going to stop right where Miss Rose hesitated. So when we come back on, it will be the last of this book. So I'm going to pause there for today. We will be back on. I want to thank you for joining me. You do have a productive Sunday afternoon. Have an awesome week ahead. And I hope all your plans, everything that you want, will come true, will happen as you wish. So thank you, folks. Please remember to like, subscribe. Please leave your comment. Please tell your friends about my page. And I would like to thank, before I go, let me thank the persons that have subscribed so far. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm still waiting to hear a comment from you folks. Still waiting to hear what you think about what I've read so far. So I'm still waiting. So thank you guys. Remember, so it's Karen Vibes. So it's KARENVIBES, and you can find me on YouTube. That little pink rose there, once you type in Karen Vibes. So it's KARENVIBES with an exclamation sign. You'll see that little pink rose come up, and you just subscribe to my channel. You'll see my videos and what I've read so far. So thank you. Peace out. Have a awesome week ahead, and we'll be back with the last of Minty Alice. Bittersweet, rather sad, but that's how life is sometimes. Alright folks, peace out.